Hey guys, how's it going? RedMaster here, and welcome back to episode of Card Tank Castle's TV commentary, where, as always, we've got some incredible matches lined up for you today. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our first matchup, folks. Match number 1. Alright, folks, and match number 1 now underway as we've got DonnyChunga taking on Buffman, a little bit of Druid Viking taking on a Warlock Viking. A lot of Vikings going around in this matchup here, but let's see what both men bring to the table as we are jumping right in here. And Buffman's been known to go a little more aggressive on his deck choices and deck construction, and that's no different here. Seeing things like the Dwarven Miner, the Question Knight, even the Scout to an extent, and the Elephant, all can be very aggressive tools if played correctly or in that manner here. And we'll see if that's successful for Buffman, as he's now going to have an opportunity here to push the Dwarven Miner in for 3, following up with the Scout. Meanwhile, Chunga, you're going to set up with a Wolf, so perhaps maybe a little beast synergy in his deck lurking. I'm not going to see that yet, though, as the Freezing Pillar hits the board here. I don't know if that click got on the mic, but whatever. We are going to continue. War Elephant now hitting the board. That is going to, of course, not do too much yet, but certainly going to be a blocker for this incoming Wolf, who actually will set up a Spiny and Blessing of the Trent combination there for a 4 on Castle. Not bad, not a whole lot of damage. Definitely survivable, so let's see how Buffman responds. Dragonfire is certainly a good pull. It's going to help clean up some of this board here, as we are now moving the Freezing Pillar of our own. That will, of course, freeze off the Spiny at the bottom there. Meanwhile, the War Elephant has not moved, deciding to hold out for the right opportunity here. Meanwhile, the Centaur going to go ahead and chip away the Freezing Pillar. I think in response to this, we are going to see, yep, the Question Knight move into the Spiny. Dragon's Fire going to clean up the board quite nicely here, and the War Elephant connecting for 3 on the Pillar, which the siege ability, mind you, I know it's not really an ability we see prevalently. It does deal damage to the castle whenever you hit a building, so say if the War Elephant connects to an armory, you can of course deal 3 damage to the castle as well, because of how the wording of that ability is. So we are going to go ahead and move into the rest of the matchup here, but actually not much left to go over, as Donny will surrender right there. Dragon's Fire apparently too much damage to his board there, so it does give Buffman the early win here, and I mean that is fine. We did mention that Buffman was an aggressive deck, and just seeing that War Elephant in action here in the siege ability was kind of cool, because it's not something that you often see, because War Elephant itself is a card that kind of gets outclassed by a couple other options, so it was nice to see War Elephant make an appearance and deliver the victory in a way for this first matchup here. But that's only match number 1, folks. I know it was a short one, but we have a lot more to get into, so let's go ahead and jump right in to match number 2. Alright, folks, in match number 2, we'll see Anton in the Crusader Ninjas taking on an old pal, Chig, as he returns with the Warlock Crusader. We'll see if he's able to get some success with this deck. He hasn't put down the red-yellow combination for some time, so we'll see if he's able to get the job done here again. But jumping into the matchup itself, interesting to see that Anton is going with an Awaken strategy in the yellow variant. I mean, a lot of people have been trying a lot of different Awaken things recently, so it makes sense to see that this combination also receives some attention just to really try it out. And, I mean, already a nice start for Anton. He gets his dojo established early here. We got the Lumberjack to block face. Unfortunately, we do get the Blue Fire dealing damage to our dojo, which isn't exactly great, but we'll have to make do with what we have here. And the Lumberjacks will trade, of course, which is fine, because now we'll be able to set up a Knight of Flowers on the follow-up. Which is not bad, especially getting this aggressive here. Hopefully Chig does not have another burn for us, but looks like he might. Incinerate hitting the board here in the Chaotic Storm to clean up and deal some castle damage as well. Not too bad to really control the matchup here. We will see Salahar Soldier as a follow-up from Anton, make that 2. He can play Priest as well, which looks like he is going to opt to play the Priest here to establish a bit of an... kind of threatening mid-game board, kind of. I mean, it's Salahar Soldier. It's not super impactful, but yeah, I mean, you see Horseman cleaning up one of them right there, leaving the other one to get that buff to 2/4, but still, I mean, Anton's making some rough trades here. We do see the Priest going into the Headless Horseman there. We don't want to bounce it back, obviously, because we don't want to give another damage potential to that Horseman. And Chig, meanwhile, are going to set up his stuff here. The Tarius Files for more draw later on the line. The Mischievous Imp for some additional damage. We do get to Dissipate on the Tarius Files, though, which is not too bad. We do get some big damage in a little bit earlier on. And meanwhile, Imp dealing damage to the soldier. But still, I think Chig can recover fairly well here. We do see the Imp pushing in. The Lumberjack as well, and the Flying Books. All just great stuff here that he's going to take out the Badger. Meanwhile, an Imp comes back up for some follow-up here. So maybe hoping to burn off the Salahar Soldier. Or the newer one that's coming out on the board now from Anton here. Curious that we didn't see the Vanishing Strike, but I guess we're saving that for Arbiters here. Arbiter's Vanishing Strike is pretty funny. You do get the Arbiter, you do get the Vanishing Strike on turn 10, and you get to keep the Judge to use for later. Not a lot of people use that because I think a lot of people actually avoid Vanishing Strike as a card if they're not in bounds, but I think it's a funny little combination there. Meanwhile, back to the matchup here. We do see Chig running low on cards here. We do see the Vanishing Strike get used on the Soldier, which is a bit unfortunate. I wanted to see the Arbiter get some use out of that, but it is what it is. We do remove the books to cut off Chig's draw even further. Meanwhile, we throw the Soldier back out with a Priest buff. And meanwhile, Chig unable to do much here as he sets up an additional Tarius Files and passes. Anton, though, meanwhile, grabs a book of his own. We'll probably see that in play. Yep, definitely want to get that going. Salahar going to connect to the Soldier there. And we do see the last roll landing on the books. Chig needs something impactful here. Fear. Okay, he gets some cycle going. That's fine. Craxus, though, an incredible bounce back tool here. Hell, even a potential game swinger just based on the hand. We can get a lot more cards going in Chig's hand. And Anton not really on any dojo draw or awakening draw here. So it's going to be brutal. Could be potentially very brutal here. We do see the books trading in. And the Arbiter going to go ahead, and make the connection as well. So giving a lot of additional resources here. Craxus gained Chig, I think, a total of 6 cards there. Incredible stuff that Craxus here, and quite frustrating as well. Flamestorm for the follow-up here, so even more draw from the Tarius Files. I think, though, miscalculating his hand a little bit there and missed one of those draws. I might not have caught it, but I did think he got 3. Although, I mean, quite enough on the board already. Darkbender, that's cheaper, Wizard that's cheaper, Imp, and a Lumberjack here. We're going to try and control the board a little bit with the remaining resources we have on Anton's side here. Dojo popping out, the Badger as well, so is going to be kind of effective, or at least I hope, but their Blue Fire, yep, going to take out the Badger. And Darkbender coming back out after being dissipated. It's not looking good for Anton here. He's got to get something going here, maybe. I mean, even then, Ninja Crusader doesn't really have a lot of board wipe potential, so it is a bit unfortunate that we're seeing this. Ronan is going to hit the board here to try and, again, just get some dojo draw going here. We do have sudden death next turn, so we'll see what happens. Although Arbiter coming down, removing the Ronan, and that is enough. Anton wants out, giving Chig the victory and an incredible bounce back from him. Honestly, man, if that game doesn't prove to you why Craxus is such a vital card to have in any sort of Crusader deck, I don't know what will. The ability for that thing to just gain you nearly a full group of cards when played in the right moments here, it's just super, super strong. And, yeah, I mean, Chig continuing to put in the work here, proving why he has quite the, well, what's the word for it here? He's quite achieved. That is it. Proving why he is quite achieved here in the CNC community here. But that is not our final matchup here, folks. We do have one more match to get to, so let's go ahead and bring you match number 3. Alright, folks, and match number 3, our final matchup of the day. It's been one that I've been sitting on for quite some time, but one that I did want to share with you guys nonetheless. It will be Sporto in the Pirate Crusader combo, taking on Arm, also known as Triple J, with the Warlock Viking. Now, if you've been a fan of the channel and been paying attention to some cast and conflict matches, you might already know what Arm is running, but for those of you who aren't, let's go ahead and bring you to the matchup right now as the screen goes dark on me. Gotta love this replay system that I've got going on here. But anyway, we're going to start off nice and simple here. Lumberjack from Sporto, turn 1. Prompting out the Lumberjack from Jay, turn 1 as well here. So pretty standard stuff. We're going to see a trade of Lumberjacks here. Just makes sense for Sporto. He will bring out the guards as well, which are an interesting choice in the Pirate Crusader colors, especially now when they're not the old 2-1 stat line. Meanwhile, this is going to prompt Arm to respond with the Faithful Drake here. Sporto not really going to have much of it, though. He is going to just kind of avoid the Drake as best he can here, setting up a Southport Captain for some early ramp, despite the fact that there isn't really much to ramp into in the hand, except for maybe Villeroff, but he is 1 gold off. This is going to lead Jay to some trading. We do see Shama, I think, come up with the coin. Faithful Drake taking out the guard. Same with the Shaman here. This will prompt the onslaught from Sporto, following up with the infested hovel here. So starting some rat generation, which placement is a bit risky considering the faction combo, but the blue fireball is going to clean that up regardless here, and Shaman making the trade into the captain. I actually want to clear it off the board here. I mean, Shaman didn't have to die, but it makes sense that you want to maybe get it off the board here. This will prompt the Sea Witch from Sporto, prompting to a Fear out of Jay, leading to a Shaman play on the follow-up as well. So continuing to cycle, and notice the hand size from Jay. It's a little big here, especially for these colors. But I'm going to continue on the matchup here. We do see the mugging on to the Shaman, and the Sea Witch being pushed back up. Same with some Hassan City guards here. Jay is going to lead a grotesque offering onto the Shaman, and picking up a blue firebolt. Maybe off of that will pull the Witch as well, throwing up a nice lumberjack blocker, which is cool to see. But that will probably get removed by that top guard for some chip, or it doesn't. Okay, could have gotten some extra chip damage in there with the guard, but I mean, I guess you maybe want to avoid chain, although it seems unnecessary since it's just, you know, simple 1-1s and 1-2s. Faithful Drake comes back out, going to meet another grotesque offering after killing off one of the 2 guards. This will lead to a Lich from Jay. Nice little check choice there to kind of freeze for target units. You know, he can kind of control the board here and freeze off what he wants to with the Lich, which is not too bad. There is a captain, though, on the follow-up here. Same with another Sea Witch, so kind of just throwing some resources back out at him. This will lead to a Fear out of Jay again, so more like being pushed back here. A Lumberjack going to probably trade with the captain. Yep. Be surprised if Lich doesn't connect to the Sea Witch, which it does here, which is fantastic. Now we can get that gone, while also controlling the board so that we don't have to deal with the last will freeze. Mordok is going to connect into the Lich here, prompting a Horseman. Captain going to go ahead and take 2 onto the face. Without the armory, which I think he probably meant to get out first, but here we are. And going to go ahead and get some more hovel action out there and pass it back. Jay, meanwhile, going to go ahead and set up with the Yenaroth here. So this is now going to freeze the board quite effectively here, putting Sporto in a rough place chain-wise. Opened himself quite a bit for chain here, but has the Villaroth follow-up, which is going to be enough to remove the Yenaroth, while also keeping Villaroth alive by 1 point, thanks to the armory there. You love to see it. And there is the Priest as well, so additional follow-up here to kind of support the board a little bit better here. But here's where the fun gets good. War Party hits the board into a Yenaroth coming out. That Yenaroth is going to connect and lead us into a Rakanoth, which is free, mind you. You love to see that. So Rakanoth connecting in there, dealing with another Rakanoth coming into the board here. That's going to do another 4, cleaning off the rest of Sporto's board. And meanwhile, into a third Raka will Jay go. And yeah, doing some incredible amounts of damage here. Ultimately, not being able to kill Sporto, just because of some health gain that he's done throughout the course of the game here, and kind of missing that first Rakanoth, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong. Meanwhile, Keepers are coming out now. This is going to provide even more units towards the board here. This is going to be rough for Jay now, as or not Jay, rough for Sporto. Great spot for Jay, as a Dagger Storm coming out isn't really going to help clean up the board here, and this will give RAKA Party another win in the books here. You'll love to see the RAKA Party in action. I know I gripe a lot on War Party, but the combo itself of seeing multiple Rakanoths prop is kind of cool, I will admit. So it was fun to see that combo kind of ultimately come to fruition here. Normally when Jay played the combo, he'd get a Raka or 2 off. But this is one of those instances where the combo kind of popped off fully here. A War Party into a Yenaroth, which would freeze the board, following into multiple Rakas, which just do an insane amount of cleanup work. Because, I mean, ultimately that's what? 3 Rakas back to back to back is 12 damage worth of just board clear, which is, you know, pretty big and can really take out anything. So yeah, incredible stuff here. So gotta give Jay the congrats for that win. But with that being said, folks, it is our final matchup, so let's go ahead and move out to close this video. Alright folks, with that being said, it is going to do it for this episode of TV Commentary. Let me know what you guys thought of the matchup by leaving your thoughts, of course, down in the comment section below, as well as being sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, sharing with your friends, of course, subscribing if you're new or haven't done so already. It's the best way that you can show your support of the channel after all. And be sure to use code TORCHTEES on Teesprings and the merch link in the description below. The t-shirts are available, but remember, there is a discount code TORCHTEES for 10% off, which expires this coming Sunday, August 8th. So be sure to pick up your shirts for a discounted price while you still can. And yeah, that's going to do it for me for now. So until next time, guys, stay gaming.